This is one of my favorite places. It's called Seven Springs. It's just north of Cave Creek in Arizona. It's quiet. There's trees, even though this is still in the desert. There's a creek. There's usually not that many people here, even on the weekends. This place has become kind of a sanctuary for me. When I was going through the process of deconstructing my faith, this was the place I came to think through that. And this was the place where I realized that I needed to leave my religion and find my own way. This was also the place where I realized that my marriage was no longer savable and that I needed to end things and move on. This has become the place where I come to grapple with undoing my own sense of self, letting go of old stories so that new stories can come in. Because the thing is, identity is just a series of stories that we tell ourselves over and over again. A series of beliefs, which are just stories. And I find myself here again today with a piece of artwork that I really love. It's a desert scene. I really like this painting. I'm very happy with how it turned out. It beautifully captures the evening desert glow. And looking at this painting, I had a few realizations about what I'm actually doing when I create one of these. This scene comes from a place that I've been, something that I saw with my eyes that captured my attention, something that struck a chord in me, that emotionally resonated with me. And then I took all of that information and put it on a piece of paper. This is a experience that was captured by my consciousness and then reinterpreted and reproduced on a piece of paper. And then there comes the impulse to share this painting with all of you and with the world. Sharing a piece of me, which is really what these paintings are. They're little pieces of me. They're little extensions of myself. And I'd never really thought about it that way until recently. It's a story told through my awareness, my consciousness. We fight so hard to hold on to the things that we love and care about, the things that matter to us. We are even attached to the things that we don't like. We're living in this constant push and pull between positive emotions and negative emotions, always going back and forth from one side to the other, back and forth, over and over and over again. And that's because of our attachment to these ideas, these stories that we tell ourselves, which is our identity. But I've been realizing that identity is really an illusion. There is no identity. There is no self, other than the one that you construct and tell yourself exists. See, everything is impermanent. Everything. Absolutely everything. But we fight so hard to convince ourselves that that is not true. Even this landscape I'm sitting in, even the rocks on the ground that seem like they will never move an inch, will all be ground to dust given enough time. All of these trees will eventually die. It's actually autumn right now. Not that you can really tell, but it is autumn. The earth has been expanding and expressing life during the summer season, and now in the fall we transition to the time where the earth contracts, life retreats, life turns within. Then the spring comes, transitioning back to the expansion and the expression of life. And so the cycle continues on and on and on. Life, death, life, death. Everything passes away, including me, including you. As much as we try to tell ourselves it won't happen, as much as we try to avoid thinking about it, it's happening. And it's okay. This painting, if you fast forward enough hundreds or thousands of years, will eventually turn to dust. It's just paper. It's pigment on a piece of paper. That's all it is. Except that's not all it is, of course. As I was saying before, this is an extension of me. An extension of how I perceive the world, the beauty that I see in the world. There's this practice in, I think it's Zen Buddhism, correct me if I'm wrong, where they will create these amazing works of art in sand. They'll spend hours or days meticulously crafting these incredible designs in the sand, and then at the end of it, they'll wipe it all away. Life expresses itself and then goes away. So these paintings that I create are expressions of my life, which will inevitably end. So releasing my attachment to this painting, in a way, is me releasing my attachment to the need for things to be permanent and surrendering to the universe, to the flow of the universe, of consciousness. Even though this painting will be destroyed, I will be destroyed, my physical form will be destroyed. That awareness which rests behind the thing that I perceive to be me, that pure consciousness persists eternally. That consciousness which is life itself, creation itself, always persists in one form or another. And me, you, and everybody else are all part of this creation, this consciousness, this eternal, indestructible consciousness. And in releasing these old stories that I've been telling myself about who and what I am, I now have created space for new stories to emerge, better stories, the best stories. In surrendering to the flow of the river, instead of fighting the current and trying to row myself down the stream, I let the current carry me. Because the river is going exactly where it needs to go, and all I have to do is float. And trust that the river is taking me to the best possible place for me.